Oh, well, it looks like I just started the stream, so we're going to go live then. I was going to play my intro, but I didn't. So let's just play it now. Right, whatever. So, yeah, welcome to episode 7. Already off to a great start. Hold on. Okay, so that's weird. Okay, so now it's caught up. All right, anyways, how you guys doing? Welcome to episode 7 of the LunchBox Comics draw stream. Still working on issue 4. I've been going through and doing the finished artwork on the pages. I'll show you where I left off last Sunday and what we're going to be doing today. But before we go into the drawing, which will be starting here really soon, I wanted to show you guys and tell you that I have issue 3 now up on GlobalComix. GlobalComix is a great app if you like to read comics digitally. It's GlobalComix, and comics is spelled with Comix, and there's mainstream comics as well as a bunch of indie comics on there, and it's a great place to read all kinds, and it's like $7 a month, and you get full access to everything, and you can read The Adventures of Sig and Joe issue 1, 2, and 3, and also my one shot How the Squirrels Saved Longview, which is a fun little 18-page story. That one is free, and to read Sig and Joe all the way through, you have to be a member on the app of GlobalComix. But I was going to show you here real quick. This is my page here on GlobalComix. That's the cover there for issue 3. Right now, I'm actually quite happy since I've been pushing more on Sig and Joe, and also since I have 3 issues up now, my views have jumped massively. I have 166 views on my first issue, 101 views on my second issue, and now 143 on the third issue. So I've gone up to 11 followers now. So it's doing really good. I'm going to keep pushing and keep going at it and see how far I can get this going, see what kind of audience I can build up on GlobalComix. But I'm real happy with how things are going so far with that. And I just wanted to show you guys. I'm going to remove that. And present, share screen, window, Clip Studio, share. So it's been a fun. Emily asked here, said I'm doing good, and how has your day been? My day's been good. I've been working an estate sale all day, and it was one of the hotter days that we've had so far this year. So it has been a hot one, to say the least. Let's see here. I'll use this screen. But this is the page that we left off on. But I'm doing good, Emily, and I'm glad to hear you're doing good as well. This is the page we left on last time. It's all finished. I'll give you guys a good shot of it here. Boom, 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 boom. This is the heavy loader from issue 4, kind of like the main boss of the story, the first arc, and Sig and Joe are getting ready to take him on. So this is the next page. I've already inked half of it because I work on this every day. Well, every day I can. Some days I don't get to work on it because of life, but I try to work on it as much as possible. And I've been working on this one. Got it inked up to this part, and now I have to do the last 2 panels, and I'll do the last 2 panels of inking, which you guys will get to see, and then we'll start doing the grays. But I hope everyone's having a great day. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to ask in the comments. I am going to be discussing, talking about making comics, kind of like the highs and lows of making comics that I've gone through so far. And we're going to have ourselves some fun here. Okay. But I've been making comics, or I decided to start making comics in 2016. I quit my job as a concrete mixer driver, and which I was making really good money at. and decided I was going to. At first, I wanted to do filmmaking. I wanted to make short films, and I had bought a camera. I had a script or two, a couple scripts ideas and stuff, and I wanted to make a short film. But I learned real quick when you're trying to make any kind of short film, movie, or film project, unless it's, the more people you add to it, the more the harder it is to get it done because you're trying to work around the schedules of everyone, and everyone has a life. So it gets really difficult to go through and make something. Plus, two, it's you know, in order to make a short film, you really have to have one person in charge, and it's hard when everyone wants to be creative to get that to have that happen. So yeah, the filmmaking stuff just didn't work out. So I decided to finally bite the bullet and go to my one real true love, which was comics, and start trying to make a comic book. And I had really I've read comic books my entire life. Marvel, DC. Um, in school, it was a lot of X-Men. I was following Joe Madura, and he was doing Uncanny X-Men. Um, I was reading Spider-Man. I was reading mostly Batman, not too much from DC when I was really young. Some Superman, but mostly it was Spider-Man and it was the Uncanny X-Men. Those were like my main two. Oh yeah, and Captain America. I really like Captain America. And I had amassed a little bit of a comic collection by the time I graduated high school and went into the Army. When in the Army, I kind of got away. My when I was in the Army, I got away from comics for a long time, and I found myself into my first comic book shop when I was in the Army because we didn't really have much around where I was at, and when I went into that first comic shop is when I started to discover. I discovered The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, and then I started going down what at the time was considered indie comics, which was Image, and because Image was just starting, and so I was following Spawn and Savage Dragon. I was getting a lot of graphic novels. I remember I got the whole entire Preacher set as it was being released. I was picking up Invincible because I preferred to get the graphic novels over the floppies because it was more story collected. It stored easier, the whole deal. So I I was getting Preacher, Invincible. Um, who I think Archie was doing Ninja Turtles at the time, but I wasn't reading much of that. But I was reading Sonic the Hedgehog, which was also done by, I believe, Archie at the time. And yeah, reading stuff, a little stuff along those lines. So I fell out of comics again after I got out of the Army, and then I got back into it with when I discovered manga. When I discovered manga, I got back into the love of comic books, the love of sequential art, the love of the storytelling. Because with Marvel, I really fell out when they started doing all the big events. It was like every 2 or 3 months they were doing this massive event that you had to buy like 30 comic books of stuff that I didn't want to really read in order to know what was going on with this connected storyline. I get the marketing and the business behind that, but at the same for me it was just really annoying. I liked uh, self-contained stories, if you will. Like I liked Invincible because it was beginning, middle, and end. I liked the stuff Kirkman was doing. I liked stuff that it didn't wasn't trying to carry around all the baggage of 50 to 80 years worth of storyline telling. So I got into so manga got me back into loving the artwork again, loving the sequentials, loving the storytelling. And then in 2016, I quit the job. The indie film thing's not really working out. So I just bite the bullet. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a comic book, and that's where I started developing Sig and Joe. And for me, I'm a artist writer. So for me, when I wanted to make a comic book, it was a story. I would draw it. I was doing everything since I was doing everything pretty much, um, except for the lettering. And the lettering was being done. Well, at first I didn't know who was going to letter, and then my friend who got into comic books with me at the same time, Max Weston, he started to learn how to letter. So, when it came to making comic books for me, it was just essentially just learning how to do everything, learning how to draw them, learning how to format them for printing, making sure the pages were in the right, um, you know, um, right file type, um, learning about, or when you order them, you learn about cost per unit, and you start learning about um, inventory. Not inventories, but it's like you start getting more and more of the business idea of it. You start realizing, you start seeing how much these things cost to get made. Uh, you know, I'm an artist writer, so I'm doing my own artwork. If you're paying for artwork, once you get your story kind of where ready, your script ready, then it's like you have to go hire an artist, and usually you're hiring someone that does pencils and inks, and then you have to find a colorist, and then you have to find a letterer, and then if you are smart, you're paying for an editor, but not smart if you can afford it, because just because you can't afford something doesn't mean you're smart enough to know that you should be using it. So the thing about it is, I always like, editors are always great because it's another set of eyes on it. Now, this is coming from someone, I haven't used a professional editor. I've always thought about just forking out the cash and actually using a professional editor. I use people who help me edit my dialogue, where my grammar and stuff along those lines, but I don't have many people to actually look through and study the panels and tell me, okay, this works, this flows a bit off, what are you trying to do here? None of that kind of feedback. You can find people to pay. You pay them, and they go through and they do that. They essentially help just work like a real editor and help you kind of say, okay, this doesn't really work. Have you tried this? Okay, I see what you're doing here. Stuff along those lines. And they can also help, more eyes on it, the more chance of someone catching a mistake, and then that way you can fix the mistake. But yeah, so I started learning on how to the pricing, printing. Then I when I first got into it, I was following a comic creator by the name of Robert Powers, and he does this series called Penguino, which is he's a samurai penguin, and I love anthropomorphic, so I picked that one up right away. And I was kind of seeing what his process was, and I was watching other people. That's where I started discovering people in the community. Like, that's how I found Tyler Carpenter. That's how I found Pete Vasquez. That's how I found Larry Higgins. I found these guys by going through the YouTubes, and first it was, I found Tyler in the community first, with because he had some, more like how-to kind of stuff. So I was following some of his stuff, and then I was following for crowdfunding. Uh, was Larry, like I would learn a lot from Larry, Max DeVille, Sam Quentin. These are all comic book creators, and that I've learned stuff from for the crowdfunding parts of it, and along those lines. Um, yeah, I was learning on how to make it. Um, I first plan was using Webtoon, and because there's multiple ways. Well, there's millions of ways to market and try to get your book out there. And one of the methods I was seeing for people like myself who are writer artists, kind of one man shows, was they were essentially putting the material or the comic books out on some form of digital, and then building up a fan base with digital releases, and then taking that those fans and building up enough fans to do a Kickstarter. And usually that crowdfunded Kickstarter was the collected a collected graphic novel of what they did digitally. So, like what I'm doing now, I'm releasing issues 1, 2, and 3 on GlobalComix. uh, I also have them, they're available other ways too. Just simply from asking me, and I can get copies of them to people, or through, there are all multiple ways. But essentially, I get all 4 of those issues done digitally, and then I'll go through and have a graphic novel made of all 4. I might crowdfund it. I don't know. Crowdfunding has been kind of, I don't know. It's in a weird place right now, and there's stuff that I like about crowdfunding, but there's also stuff that I don't. And also too, I don't need to crowdfund Sig and Joe. One of the reasons why people crowdfund is because it costs money to make a comic book. So if you're paying artists, letterer, like what we talked about before, if you have a script and you need to hire an artist, you need to do that route. You're looking at a production cost from $4,000 to $6,000 for a 24-page floppy. Now, not everyone has $4,000 to $6,000 in their hip pocket to make a comic book. So you go to crowdfunding and you pitch your idea and you get people to pre-order the book. You set up tiers on the Kickstarter crowdfund, and people pre-order from those tiers. People will have variant covers. There's a whole science almost to setting up your campaigns, and their variant covers help. Having like people call them choskeys. They're like the stickers and hi Sashi, greetings. The stickers and the bookmarks and stuff along those lines. So you get all that stuff together, and then people pre-order off these tiers. And if you meet a goal, then you get the book done. It pays to finish the book, and if you're lucky and you build up enough audience, and if people like the idea, you might you hopefully make more money past what you need to make that book. So then that way you can put it into the next book. And if you do really really good, then you have extra money left over to do other things for away from crowdfunding. So the most priority is that you fulfill the book. So if you do a $5,000 goal Kickstarter and you make your $5,000 and they send it to you, what's up, Plungecast? Ro, are you? How you doing? Um, when they send it to you, or when they give you that money, it is on you to make the book and get it shipped to them in the time period that you told them you would. Now, there's warnings when you do crowdfunding that you're not guaranteed your product, and that is to protect the crowdfunding platform for being sued if I don't fulfill. So there is kind of a risk to crowdfunding. You have to make sure that you get your math right. Imagine doing your math for how many books you need to get printed and what your goal is. You get your goal of 5,000, then all of a sudden, Comics Wellspring bumps the cost of printing up $2 on everybody. Well, now you'd have to account for an extra $2. So you got to make sure that your math is outright, so you can afford the print runs, you can afford the let's see here, Zeolander is here to hang with it. Or let me switch over here. Hold on. Boom. Yeah, it's when people say that. Oh well, you have you have it right there in clear numbers that, or in clear words, that you're not guaranteed to receive your product. And this is exactly what it is. It is to cover the butts of the crowdfunding platform, and then that leads it up between you and the person who we sent your money to, the person who created the campaign. So when you don't when people don't when they don't fund enough, or they don't have the money to cover what they mishapped, or life happens, lose an artist, uh, or products, prices change, tariffs, whatever the situation may be, there's all sorts of stuff that can happen. So you have to be very careful when you're crowdfunding that you get enough money, and make sure that you cover and ship the product. Because unless you have some big, massive cult following, small guys like myself, if you buy a book from me and then I ghost you and take the money, you're not going to buy another one from me. So lost you just lost yourself customers and potential backers. And it's sometimes in this community, people used to ostracize people for not fulfilling and for ghosting their customers. It happens still somewhat, but that's why there's less backers every week, because of the fakes, the fees. Yeah, and I don't know. Like, there seems to be lots of different opinions on. Let's see here. That's why we won't put out our campaigns until the book is made and ready to print. Yeah, exactly. But see, I understand why people don't, because you need the campaign money to get the book. Like, if I got to spend $2,500 on an artist, some people need to have that $2,500 through the campaign to order to pay that artist. But the thing is, though, is the safest bet is to pay out of your pocket if you can, any way possible, and then have the book done. So all you have to do is just send it off to the printers, get them back, ship them out. And especially for your first one, as you get better at it and build up that faith and know what you're doing more, then you might be able to play around where the book's halfway done, or 3/4, or a quarter done. Me myself, when I kickstarted my first issue of Sig and Joe, it was done when I did it. I wasn't playing her. Yeah. Oh yeah, similar to regular retail. Yeah, exactly. If they go to your restaurant and the restaurant sells crap food that time, you're going to lose a customer for life, and they're going to tell people, don't go to that restaurant. So you have a potential of losing multiple customers. So that's one of the dangers of crowdfunding is you got to make sure you're able to fulfill and do what you're supposed to do. But I personally, let's see here. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about then. Oh yeah, you know what I've noticed that Ario or Plungecast. I've noticed that that the bigger the creator, it seems like the harder the time they have to fulfill. Now that's not true for all creators. There's some big ones that fulfill quite well, but it's just I've gone to three big creators, and all three of them had problems fulfilling, all for different reasons too. But when you're dealing with like you know 4,000 customers and you're a one person operation, or that is that's tough. Okay, nice, Sasha. Yeah, corporate for 10 years, 20 years on your own small store. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so you know how the game works. Way too thick. Ooh. I that's why yeah, that's another one too. That's a tough one. And money's been tight for everybody, so it's getting harder to justify some of these 25 to $35 floppies. Like I don't make floppies anymore. I'm going straight to making just graphic novels. I'm gonna like Sig and Joe. I started off making floppies. I got like issue one here, and I've got issue two printed out, two small little print runs of them. But I do. I've decided now from now on, I'm just doing graphic novels. I'm not messing around with floppies. If I get with a publisher and they want to make floppies out of my graphic novels, I'm all for it. But I myself, I don't think it's very cost effective. It's going to be easier for me. Like when I get Sig and Joe collected together, it's going to be 200 and over 220 pages of comic book. I get those graphic novels made at Comic Wellspring, and it's going to be around for 50 of them. I get them for around $7 per comic. What's up, Larry? I get them for $7 per comic. Well, it's closer to 8 after shipping. I can sell that for 20, much easier to crowds than I can my floppies because I don't have the name behind me. That's one of the big reasons too. It's like I'm a no-name guy, so it's even harder to press out. It makes sense, like with Billy Tushy, or if there's like a $25 Lady Death comic book, that makes sense to me because there's all sorts of special stuff. There's collector value. There's the covers along those lines. But when you're a small nobody like me, trying to justify a $25 comic book or even a $10 comic floppy, it's hard to justify because like I said, I'm a nobody. There's no collector value in buying Warren stuff now. Maybe someday Warren's books will be worth something, but as of right now, I have no collected value to my name. I also have no presence to my name because I'm terrible at marketing. But I'm starting to get out now. Like I have 7 awesome viewers right now. I'm getting like 40 some views on my live streams. I'm on episode 7. I'm building up more on Twitter and also on TikTok. So I'm starting to get out there more, but really I have been kind of like a ghost in the indie comic book scene because I don't have easy accessible access to my book. I'm not great on social media, and these are all things that can hurt your presence down the road, but it's all part of the learning process, if you will. Like, um, like I could sit there and say, "Oh yeah, I could have done this better. I could have done that," but all I look at is like, how am I going to do it better now? You know, get out there, get seen more, get a name. So when people see, people read, you get fans of the comic book, people who are reading my stuff and are excited when I put out something. I want to be one of those kind of creators where I have a fan base that's like, oh, I like reading Warren stuff because Warren does this or that or along those lines. So that's the kind of fan base I'm trying to build up. And if, or, you know, I get down the road good enough where I could get picked up by like an Image or an IDW or along those lines. But that's kind of like either here or there. That's probably a pipe dream in a lot of ways. It feels like at times, and it's part of the process of making comic books. It's a lot of mental stress. There's a lot of mental stress in comics, or at least I go through a lot. You've got imposter syndrome. You've got just there's something unnerving about not being seen. Um, and that's a real good point, Sashi. Sashi. I hope I'm saying that right. Um, because they beg and they shift their investors instead of customers, and that's not good for the market. No, it's 100% true, and that happens with any big industry. Niobe Comics in the house. Larry, throw up your eBay link. Larry is the creator of Niobe and of Savage Sin, and he's been doing this for a long time, and he's got multiple issues of Niobe and Savage Sin, and right now he's doing a big eBay sell to try to get the Niobe Spark fixed. Him and his car got into a bit of a accident. Some jerk ran into him, and now he's got to get it fixed. So go ahead and check out that eBay link if you like good comics, awesome covers, very Image Bad Girls 90s style writing and art comic, and it's just a lot of fun. So go ahead and check out Niobe's stuff through that link right there. But yeah, it's there is a lot of that. I've worked for big corporations on either retail or along those lines, and you can see where they don't care nearly about their employee or employee retention anymore. It's all really about investor and bottom line. But yeah, with comics, it's when you first start, you worry about like, okay, am I going to get tore up, or are these everyone just going to laugh at me, or is it I'm going to get just ran off because how much I suck, and then the reality hits is that you will put all this time into a product, and then no one barely says anything, and that is 100 times worse than getting dumped on or getting yelled at or getting told that you suck. When someone just doesn't say anything or no one even knows that you barely exist or really care what you're doing after you put all that time into it, it gets kind of f's with your head a bit. Because when no one says something, it's like there's multiple things that could be the reason why your book's not selling. There's multiple. From, are you marketing correctly? Are you looking for the right kind of audience? How's your presentation? All of that. But there's also the cold hard reality of the product. It just is not what people want. It's just not going to work. So because it doesn't matter how much time you put into it or how much you love it, it just might not work, and people might not want to buy it. And if you can't sell it, then you might, you have to come to that reality. Like, well, do I move on? Do I, stuff along those lines. Let's see here. You're another survivor, Niobe. I got hit by an 18-wheeler last year. Totaled my car. I wasn't transported to another world either. Truck. No isekai world for you. I hope everything's okay with that. That sounds like a pretty hardcore car wreck. So I hope you're okay. And Larry's all like, "Are you the same Sashi that he knew once?" So yeah, if you're going to get into this making comic book world, you're going to have to be really prepared, and you're going to have to I don't know, like, it's the way you kind of look at your goals. how you set yourself up. Like, you have to be honest with yourself. You've got to really be prepared to do it all on your own. Um, you will find people along the way that will help you. I have found people to help me. Larry in the chat has helped me immensely. Uh, Pete Vasquez has helped me immensely. Oh, okay. Sashi's from Malaysia. Oh, awesome. But yeah, it's very expensive to get into, and financially, it is not huge reward. So you got to come up with other reasons to do this and keep working and building up until that financial builds up more and more until you figure out your niche and where you want. Very nice plunge cast. But getting here to the end of this first arc, it has been a very surreal time period, kind of, because I feel like I'm kind of almost like I'm graduating college. Um, Graduating kind of like a do-it-yourself comic book making college. By no means have I, like I still have a long ways to learn, lot to learn, a long ways to go, but I've really grown and learned a lot making this first arc, these first 4 issues. It's kind of weird too because I've dedicated um I've dedicated well since 2016, so 9 years of my life to learning on how to do this shit and how to make a comic book. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad that yeah you got out of there without a scratch. That's really good. Yeah, those older cars, you gotta love that shit. Those old tanks when they made them bulletproof. Just thickening up the lines of the foreground stuff so that way it's separated a little bit from the background. We'll also do some gray tone stuff to help separate it more, to help keep that depth. I mean, I'm excited though. I'm gonna go watch Superman on Tuesday. I'm a huge James Gunn fan, so I'm probably going to be biased, but I'm excited to see the movie. I've heard mostly positive, um, some negative, but gotta be careful with the sources because some of these negative sources, I don't think they're gonna like Superman no matter what because it's part of their narrative. Um, I don't mind spoilers, so I know what where all some of the contention's coming from, and I think it's just stupid. So I am excited to see it, fully expecting to love it. Yeah, it's true, Sasha. It's true. I have grown so much as an artist since I started doing this. Sometimes I wish I would have started earlier, but I'm also a believer that spending too much time about past decisions, regretting them, doesn't get you anywhere. You just learn and move on. And I am very happy with where I'm at now. And it's also just great to find something that you love, finding that passion, you know. And I absolutely love making comic books. I love every part of the process of making these books. Well, I'm not a fan of the marketing, but I'm learning. I love making them. I don't have fun selling them, but I'm trying to. It's not that it can't be fun or it's not interesting. It's just when you don't know how to do something. Anyone who tells you like they're a natural, they just woke up and good at marketing themselves, I would call probably a liar. Because it's just like anything else. It's a learned skill, and it takes time. It takes that 10,000 hours, and yeah, that's kind of like the thing with making comics. Every aspect of it is its own mastery. One thing I learned about running solo act, doing everything, is that I can never do all of it at the same level. Like I can't. My lettering is really well. I've only been lettering for a year, less than a year now, so my lettering's not great at all. Yeah, that is true. I would have loved to apprentice under a pro. That would have been awesome. I never went to art school. I took an art class in high school and I took one in college. And neither one of them did anything to help me with my comic books, that's for sure. Yeah, that's where I've been learning from Dale. Dale, hey, glad to see you. Glad you stopped by. Yeah, Blambot is one I've been studying because I mentioned earlier I had a business partner. His name was Max Weston. He's the writer of a couple comics on his own, really good ones too. But yeah, I had a writer, and me and him had, he essentially didn't want to be my business partner anymore. So he just blocked me on all the platforms, and I found out one day. So when that happened, and that happened around November of last year, I had to learn how to letter because I don't really have the money to pay for a letterer. So I just started because I had issue two was pretty much 99 or 95% done. The only thing that I needed left was to send the issue or for Max to tweak a couple things in the lettering, and it was going to be done. But when he ghosted me, I lost. He never gave me a finished copy of issue two, so I had to go back and re-letter the entire issue, and then I had to letter. So then from that point on, I just started lettering all my own stuff because I'm definitely not the only one that does it. If you can pay for a letterer, I highly suggest you get a letterer because my lettering does not look as good as what a pro does. But I'll just learn like I did everything else. I don't mind the sound effects, the automatopoeia. I've been studying that quite a bit. Um, I don't hand draw it. Um, I do get onomatopoeia from like Blambot and stuff like that, but I do tweak it at times, and I do some specialized, not specialized, but I do hand draw some of the sound effects. Yeah, Eric Weathers. I'll have to look that up. Thank you for the suggestion, Dale. Thank you for stopping by, Sashi. You're awesome, and you have yourself a great day at work. Stay safe, and hope to see you next Sunday on episode 8. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, make like and subscribe if you'd like. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, Sashi. So, oh, Howard's kicking my ass this year. Been drinking lots of water because I want to start working out tomorrow. Getting back into the gym. Trying to get back on the diet and on to the gym or the working out. I'm 44. I'm turning 45 in December, and I got this. I work during helping with setting up, running, and tearing down estate sales, and or cleaning up, and moving a lot of furniture. Very very sore, and I've been. It's time for me to get kind of back into shape because I realized how out of shape I am right now. So it's time to get back into shape. Go back to the gym and do a little bit of powerlifting, just a little bit. I'm not going to go hardcore like I was when I was younger. I don't know if my knees can go back to doing the hardcore powerlifting squats anymore. So, but I am going to try to get into better shape. It's good too though because I do a lot of sitting. Um, you know, sitting for like I used to sit for like 6 hours straight drawing, but now I try to every 2 hours to get up and move around, and I can feel it in my back, especially if my chair is old, so I got to get a new one pretty soon. And if you sit on a bad chair for a long time, it can really screw up your back. I've been having some back pain issues. Uh, and I've been having trying to stretch more and to get up and move around more. And yeah, getting old sucks, kids. I'll tell you that. But getting back in the gym will be good. I'm gonna try to put together. Normally, when I try to diet or go back to the gym, it only lasts for a couple months, and then I just stop doing it. I'm really gonna try to stay dedicated this time and put like a whole um, a good run. Let's see here. Get a good share fast, you'll be walking. Yeah, that's true. And I never thought just sitting could injure you, but I was like, all the stuff I've done with work, and I get a back injury from just sitting too long drawing. That's that always makes me laugh a little bit. But it is true though. You got to be careful. You got to take care of yourself. So I got to eat better, so I sleep better, have more energy, and be able to spend more time drawing awesome comic books. Oh yeah, that's so true. Or that's so true. Plus, it'd just be good for me to get in shape. I think it's good for everyone if they could try to eat healthier, stay active. Um, if I ever get lucky enough to do comic books full time, I need to be able to put a good 8 hour day of drawing in. And I need to be able to make sure I know how to do that the right way so I don't injure myself and then can't draw for a week, start getting behind schedule. Because a lot of it's about output. I pride myself in getting commission work done as a top priority. And you can ask the few people who've gotten a couple of covers from me or stickers. When they hire me, I'll get it done. I usually make it top. I usually make it top priority unless told otherwise. Like I did a cover for a friend of mine, Chad's book, and and I didn't work. Usually, when I get a commission, I start right away on that commission. I don't stop working on it until it's done. And what I mean is, like, I won't draw anything else. So it might take me 3 days to do it. The 3 days of working, I'll be drawing the commission. Um, but he had some time before he needed it, and I was working on some other stuff, so I was able to wait a week or two before I did his project. But then as soon as I got cleared up, I just knocked out his artwork. So I take commission work very seriously. And artists aren't necessarily slow. I mean, well, some are. There's different levels of how much time it takes you to how much detail you're doing in there and along those lines. Oh yeah. How's the work coming along, Aru? How's the books coming along? But yeah, if I ever wanted to do this full time, yeah, I'm going to be drawing 5 to 6 days a week. It's gonna be have to do a lot of artwork in order to be able to afford to do this full time without a day job. Because you have to have a consistent income. So that means oh yeah. Okay, awesome. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Okay. Oof. Putting in the work. That's the way you do it. That's what you got to do, man. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out when I see your Kickstarter go up. I'll help promote. I'll promote. Oh, no worries. Sometimes my big old stubby fingers, I can't type worth a shit. Oh, Pete. Oh, what's up? How'd your convention go? Thank you for joining the chat. Yeah, you put in the work, Pete. 40 hours a week, and you're doing conventions, and you're drawing and painting your ass off. But yeah, how did the convention go? I hope everything went good for you. Oh, good, good. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I might do a Kickstarter for Sig and Joe's graphic novel when I get 4 done, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I might. Oh, next, nice. That is nice to hear, Pete. Pokemon monies. Yes. And that ain't no lie. When I was at Port Angeles at that comic book convention in April, when I was at the convention, I drew a Pokemon or I drew Pikachu as Deadpool, and I sold it same day. I put it in a frame, put it up on the table, and someone picked it up like almost right away. Pikachu is our savior. And I drew the chicken riding zombie from Minecraft at when I was at the spring market, and no one bought that one. I figured that one would go pretty good, but no one bought that. No one even cared about that one. Okay, the big 11 by 17 commission that I got from the spring market I was at, it had Pokemon in it. They wanted a Marvel superheroes with Pokemon around like this special antique coin because they were coin resellers, and I made this big 11 by 17 piece with like Spider Man and Iron Man and the Hulk, and then I put Pokemon around them. It was a lot of fun. Drawing the coin was the hardest part, but I had a blast drawing the Pokemon. I never got into Pokemon, so I don't know. Aside from like Pikachu and Squirtle. No, that, you know, it probably should have been Pete, but I charged 80 for it. I charged 80, and the guy gave me $100. He gave me a $20 tip. So yeah, my pre-drawn framed 11 by 17s I was selling um for $50, and I was selling my 7 3/4 by 10.5 comic backing board framed pieces for 30, and those were selling pretty deep. The comic backing board ones sold pretty decently. The 11 by 17s, I sold a couple of them. Yeah, I mean it's I know I'm underpricing, but at the same time, I'm kind of pricing for the audience and for where I'm at, because of just how pricing low to sell more essentially. Okay, how's this? Is that better? I was probably too far away from the mic. Yeah, I probably could bump up to. I probably will bump up. That's 80 was that seems does seem a bit low, especially with the time period it takes. So I'll probably bump those up. 30 for the 8.5, or by the combo backing board ones. That one 30 feels pretty good to me, because those usually don't take me nearly as much time. I'm not doing backgrounds with those. It's essentially just headshots or character body shots, and then so that $30 framed. It doesn't seem too bad to me. I can pump those out pretty good. But 11 by 17, yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, $30 seems about right. But by 11 by 17s, I'll probably go up closer to like 120, like you do. Because 11 by 17s are usually multiple character. They're usually got a little bit of background on them, so there's definitely much more to them. Depending on what I'm doing, Aru, I can. It depends on. It could take me. I can get 11 by 17 done, depending on the subject matter and how many characters, and if there's a background or not. I can get one done about 2 to 3 hours. The comic backing board ones I can get done in a couple hours, or quicker sometimes, because those ones usually are no backgrounds. Usually, but I'm going to start going into. I've got a show in November, so I'm going to get Sig and Joe issue 4 done here in the next couple months. Probably I'm shooting for hopefully by the end of August. I have this thing pretty close to being ready to print. And then I'm going to print out some graphic novels of issue 1 through 4. And when I do my 11 by 17s now, I'm not just going to do comic characters. Um, yeah, that's true. I need to get into ink washing. I need to get into it more. It always fascinates me, and I want to play around with it. I just haven't took the plunge yet. Um, But what I want to do with my 11 by 17s is I want to go tapping into my tattoo background and start doing some more artistic type pieces, like some koi fish and dragons, and I want to do maybe even a couple landscapes. So I don't want to do just pop culture comic characters all the time. I want to flex my muscles a bit and start doing some other things with my 11 by 17s. Um, and if I do like a big, those ones I'll probably sell more. Yeah. Oh yeah, I do that. Pete taught me that. Pete taught me what to get and how to do the spray to help preserve the artwork. So yeah, I do that, Aru. I also frame them. I buy 11 by 17 frames off of Amazon, and I frame all the artwork. Yeah, I'm going to still do the pop culture stuff. It's just every once in a while I want to throw in more artistic pieces. I want to do like a really beautiful koi fish again, or I want to do just some other stuff that's not just pop culture. But yeah, pop culture is great because it will pay for a table. You know, it will pay. It does pay. I just also want to kind of flex and have a couple of other stuff on the table as well. Like my show's in November, so I'm going to be doing. I want to do some Demon Slayer characters because the movie I think is in October, um, and I want to do Kaiju number 8 and some Dan to Dan because those are really big. Um, and yeah, I'll play. I'll do some other stuff too. I think I also want to do some stuff like the Goon, along those lines. But yeah, but that's more personal. But for the pop culture stuff, I planned it for the show in November to do Demon Slayer because that should still be fresh in people's mind. Some Chainsaw Man, and then some Kaiju number 8 because the second season's going on right now, and or getting ready to. I think it's well, yeah, the season 1 was out, but season 2 is coming out in this month, if not already started coming out. So that'll be kind of it. I don't know if it'll be fresh in people's mind by November, but there should be some kids jiving on it. Yeah, yeah. It's one of the problems, Pete, I have with where I live at. Is that there's not a lot of art scene. I'm gonna have to venture down I-5 and try to see if what Vancouver. I know Portland does. I just have to find it. And probably Vancouver because it's bigger. Um, yeah, that's true. But yeah, you live in such a big art capital. You live in a big art nerve. If I was more outgoing, and I could probably try to start an art scene around here, try to find people, bring them together. But I am not that outgoing. And that would require me to go out and mingle with people, and I don't do that. Oh, nice. Yeah, those slaps are cool. Oh, Pete, have you got a chance to watch uh, K-pop Demon Hunters yet? Ooh, that sounds good, Aro. Is that homemade or did you get Popeyes? Oh, nice. Yeah, that's no problem, Pete. I'm pretty much free all day tomorrow. I gotta do some stuff in the morning, but aside from that, I'll be here working. So working on art. So yeah, doing an off air tomorrow should be no problem. And then it'll be awesome to get some pages and be able to start doing some stuff. Oh, Tuesday night? Yeah, I'll be free Tuesday. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go watch Superman, but I'm gonna watch Superman like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, Tuesday night I'll be free. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. You have to apologize. I have to apologize. I am stoned. So yeah, okay. I get what you're saying now. By the 20th, I'll see pages, but Tuesday you like to do an off air to talk about to go over the changes. So yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that'll work. 809 will be fine. And that's on Tuesday, right? So yeah, I will be I'm good to go for that. Oh, you guys got such better edibles than us. Our edibles are capped at 10 milligrams. Yeah, I was just going over the attack on. I was just going over the attack on Cookie script the other day. Been reading it over. Yeah, this will be the first time I've lettered someone else's work too. This is gonna be fun. Are you doing the sound effects, or do you, or am I doing? 'Cause I have no problem doing them too. I enjoy making them. So if but am I doing the sound effects also? Okay, no problem. You have a good night, Pete, and thank you for stopping by. Hey, everyone in the chat, if you see this, um, tap on Pete's name and follow and subscribe to his page. Pete 771 or 717. Pete, could you put your link up in the chat so that way my stoned ass doesn't screw this up? But yeah, check out Pete, like, follow. He does Twitch streaming, draw streams on Monday. He also is looking to be doing some stuff on Tuesday on YouTube. Um, keep an eye out for him. Great guy, good artwork. And if you need some stuff commissioned, check out Pete. But yeah, if you get a chance, Pete, go ahead and throw your link up in there. Yeah, but we'll definitely get together here so you can tell me about those changes, and I'll get ready to start lettering and grayscaling those pages around the 20th when you get them to me. This page is inked, so now we'll make the folders that I need. Start gray toning and the gradients and the finishing whites. And then this page will be done. We are at 9:30 right now, and 9:30 my time. So we will. All right. Now I have to fix the panels or redo the panel lines. Now I bring the inks back, lower the opacity on the new panels. Erase wherever I broke the panel. What's up, Real Wade Nation Gaming? How you doing? Okay, I think everything is ready to start grayscaling. Real late. I did get to your email, by the way. Sorry, I have not returned an email back to you. I have been super busy, and I'm also terrible at that, which I'm trying to get better at communicating back. So, apologies for not getting back to you on that, but I did get the email. Hope all is well. Right now, I'm making the folders for the shades of gray so I can keep track of everything. Helps make for a quicker grayscaling process for me. Little method I've come up with. Okay. I need a folder for okay, to the grays. 50. Okay. That's why there's no rings with Sparkles, because I have no money. How are you doing tonight, Miss Sparkles? I hope everything's going well. I know that you've been going through a bit of it lately, so hopefully things are going better for you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You taking off? Well, I hope things get better for you, and I'll see you around, Miss Sparkles. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, what's up, MSK? Guys, if you get a chance, check out MSK's channel. I'm on there usually on Wednesdays and Fridays, sometimes on Thursdays. We're going to start trying to. MSK is one of the more harder working streamers that I've met, and he puts on cool shows. How is your night going tonight, sir? Hope all is well. Boom, 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 boom. All right, guys. I've been going for pretty much 2 hours now. I need to get up and stretch and walk around a bit, so I'm going to call it on this live stream. I want to thank everyone who stopped by and talked. Miss Sparkles, Railway Nation, Larry Higgins of Niobe Comics, Pete Vasquez, Aru of Plungecast, Dale. I want to thank all you guys for stopping by. Emily, um, you guys make it worth it with your interactions and talking. It's been always fun, and I enjoy having all of you guys around. MSK, catch me this Wednesday on MSK's panel show, and then on Friday, me and MSK talking about comics and pop culture. And I might try to get some gaming into one of these days. I'm still trying to figure out how to get the screen all set up for gaming, so I'm going to work on that. And but yeah, I hope you guys all have a great night. Catch the Adventures of Stick and Joe issue 1 through 3 on GlobalComix, and see you guys here next Sunday. Make sure if you're watching that you like and subscribe so you can follow along and know when I go live or when I post videos. And I hope you guys have a great night. Boom.